there we go. Shout outs to Napalm Man. Track I did not myself appreciate until I started speedrunning Batman 5 myself. Alright, well, hopefully this additional streaming won't throw me down. That was a manual fade out effect, in case you were wondering. Just cut it. No? Alright, so we're back in the pub of danger. I don't remember what we're doing. Oh, you're back. So did you find anything? Maybe? Oh, right. And then we find all the coins and we're missing the bag. I think, was that the last thing we did? Oh! Oh, rhetorical. So do not answer this. But if it's her, I wonder if that scarf turns out to be the sack. Wow, interesting what a pair of fresh eyes can do. Of course he didn't. Remember, even if you don't succeed, it's the effort you make that's important. Trying to console me? Let's show them the evidence we found, the one that points to a human culprit. Right, because we won't let Orla be put down. Please take a look at this bloodstained coin. Eek! Cease and desist at once. What kind of man shows a lady blood? Ugh, she doesn't have to get so worked up. What are you terrorizing this lady with? Come on now, let me see. Found this coin besides the orca pool. We did see a large number of coins besides the pool, but not one with blood on it. Just learned that there's 300 of these, weighing about 7 pounds altogether. Now, what do you suppose would happen if a person was assaulted with that many coins? What? So you're saying the coins might have been used like some kind of blunt weapon? The blood belongs to the victim, and yes, it's entirely possible. Well, vaguely chronologically, right? Because, like, the first case took place after the second case, but I also agree with this being Phoenix's first case back that it made sense to do this after the second case. We build our way back. I would, like, it would have been kind of annoying to play this last. Let me tell you what it would be. It would be like when you watch an anime all the way through, you've seen the ending, and then they come out with a movie that's like somewhere in between episodes 8 and 9. And I immediately think to myself, why do I fucking care? I already know what happens. Just because it's an extra story doesn't get me all hot and bothered. Agreed. I'm not pulled in. I don't care then. I would have played this case and just not cared about anything. At least with Rise from the Ashes, it still took place, even though it wasn't necessarily connected to the first 4 cases. it still felt like oh, this is a case that happens after the Von Karma case. You got a new big bad and can't. Like, that was cool. Like, that's the type of movie I want to see after the main series is over. Okay, well, the problem with that example is that you can never have too much Cowboy Bebop, no matter where they put it. No matter where they put it, whether it's filler, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be fucking great. But I wouldn't call it decisive proof that the real culprit was human. Well, I mean, you don't know what decisive proof meant if it hit you in the face, like 300 gold coins wrapped in a sack, so, I mean, you wouldn't? Why not? Because that's not decisive. I mean, if you take a look at this case, you'll understand why they decided to paywall this one. If they can remove it from the rest of the game without the rest of the game being disrupted at all, and you put Pearl in there, her first appearance since game 3, people are just gonna pay. They just want to see Pearl. You wouldn't? Why not? Because there'd have to be something to put the coins in to make them a weapon. Without that something, it's just not going to be enough to pass muster. But I will say that your theory does seem to warrant further investigation. I'll call the prosecutor's office and ask to reinvestigate from a possible criminal angle. Well, thank you very much. Really hope Detective Fulbright can convince him. You won't believe the answer I got. When I explained your passion for this case in the police's investigation, they said that the prosecutor I mentioned earlier would be willing to take this to court. Really? Does that mean a new suspect has emerged? No, I'm afraid not. To be frank, Prosecutor Blackwell said he just wants to prove that Orca's guilty in court. Oh, fine. What? It's Prosecutor Blackwell that wants to prosecute Orla? That's fine, Detective. Thanks for arranging this for us. Well, I must say you're taking this rather calmly. Defending Orla in court was my idea from the start. I'll do what it takes to save her. In that case, I'll do whatever I can as well to see that justice is served. Miss DePlume, will you be a witness for the prosecution? Oh yeah, I've figured out what happened already. I'm 99% sure that I'm correct. After having a reset from last night and watching now. I know you weren't here last night, but I didn't see it last night, but I see it now. As soon as she popped on screen. Trial for a killer whale? I've never heard of such recklessness before in my life. I mean, I wouldn't say recklessness, but generally I agree. But I will reveal the truth about this killer whale and then write all about it. Sounds like a plan. Now, if you'll just come along with me, we'll have to prepare for tomorrow, and I still have to arrange for an autopsy. Oh, I look forward to tomorrow. That she has they're like, oh man, like, they beat him down with coins, but he's like, but we don't have the thing that the coins were in. And I'm like, man, it couldn't be the thing that's wrapped around her head, right? Because, to be honest, that's actually a little more big brain than I would have expected from the game. Although where you'd cover up the blood stain is kind of an issue. I'm assuming there's still a stain there, but maybe she like folded it underneath and then, yeah, I guess we'll find out. Unless I'm wrong, but I'll be surprised. Until then, blue lawyer and yellow fan. At least I'm blue lawyer now instead of blue boy. I'm not a fan. At least we managed to get this case to go to trial. How in the world are we going to defend an orca in court anyway? To be honest, I'm not really sure myself. I don't think this is actually legal. Plus, Mr. Plume said Orla bit the victim. This trial sure isn't going to be easy. But I love a challenge. Well, that's great. Otherwise, I would have had to have fired you. Then we ought to be just fine. Guess I should go over that swashbuckler spectacular you were watching this morning. Yeah, we can have a formal viewing back at the office. Nothing decisive against Orla and that security tape, but that doesn't mean much. I'll just have to find a more concrete way to save Orla in tomorrow's trial, or else. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Oh, we didn't get to see the thing again? I would like to see it again. Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I see. I've already drank 7 fucking cans of Red Bull. I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. You see, the secret is I push my heart to the brink, like it's about to, you know, blow out of my chest. And that's when Widget really starts working. It somehow builds up the spiritual connection that we have. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. That's unfortunate. You probably smell like sweat now. I just splashed my face with some water to get the sleep out of my eyes. What do you guys call that? What do you guys call the crust when you wake up? I always called it sleep, like Phoenix just did. Like, oh, I gotta get the sleep out of my eyes. Even though that like seems kind of dumb. That's the way I always said it. My wife calls them eye boogers, which is quite frankly just strictly worse. I like crud more than eye boogers. At least crud is more like generalized. Eye batter. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there is an official name. The crust makes sense. That's what I call it when I'm trying to get it out of my dog's eyes, because it tends to be so much more prominent that just calling it sleep doesn't seem enough. See, debris sounds painful. I have a bunch of debris in my eye. Sleep Crusts is the official name? I mean, it makes sense. There's a whole episode of Doctor Who about it? I don't know that. Room? Oh, let me get this room out of my eyes. Yeah, it sounds like you're getting poked. Yeah, I think my dog gets it in one eye more than others, too, and I think it's because of the way she prefers to sleep. Also, oh, I also queued the Swashbuckler video so we can watch it anytime. Cool. Thanks, it just might help our case. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this? He says that she has no dark circles. What? Me? No. I just woke up early, that's all. Guess I need to cover him up. I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackwill. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while. It's been a while. That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing. That was a compliment, right? Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Wait, why is she here? Oh, she might be a witness. That's right. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Rhymes. You came to watch the trial? Yeah, Sasha's back at the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I better come here to watch for her. That, I understand that, but you would think Sasha would be particularly important for our defense. Like, really particularly important for the defense. Well, it's because he's supposed to have, like, fish eyes, right? Where it's just, like, wide, like, just pure open with the that's how I took it. Not as traumatized, but he just has open-ass fish eyes. Which I suppose on a human does look like they're traumatized. Wexner Medical Center calls it, well, fuck Wexner Medical Center. Get your shit together, Wexner. Well, don't you worry, we're gonna win for Orla. Isn't that right, boss? Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. Man, I was hoping we'd get like a maritime courtroom. You're a crook, Captain Hook. Judge, won't you throw the book at the pirate? Fisheye filter. I guess a whole nother courtroom would have required too much effort, though. Court is now in session for the trial of Aura Shipley. Isn't it Orla? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackwood. Known as the Twisted Samurai, he's a prosecutor who's also a convicted felon, in case you had not played any of the other cases before the DLC for some stupid reason. They say he never conducts a trial without his loyal hawk Taka by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lower image suits you. Get it? Pun? There's a suit? You look younger somehow. Thank you, Your Honor. And you look as young as ever yourself. I will say it is a next level sign that Phoenix stopped caring about buttoning his coat. Can't remember the last time I did that. My wedding, maybe? Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Ooh, somebody didn't do a read-up on the case before he entered the courtroom. That's pretty negligent of you, Judge, but why am I not surprised? Oh. Is there like some narrative reason for that? Like some inside joke or something? I don't know why they did it. I just don't think it was necessary. Oh, I wasn't being rhetorical, but I guess if it has something to do with the story, then yeah, don't answer. Surely you jest your boldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, Aura Shipley, is an orca at ship-shaped aquarium. An orca! So, okay. So, all these people in the courtroom are like shocked by this, right? That's why they bothered talking. Otherwise, what would be the fucking point of reacting to that? Which means either these people are literally just individuals to come and watch court proceedings for no reason other than entertainment, I guess. Or, well, that has to be it, because they obviously didn't know themselves, because If they'd have known that, it wouldn't have been shocking to them. And it's unlikely that it's because it's a case that's coming sometime later during the day, because you wouldn't be here this early then if a day-long trial scheduled. And from what we've seen, I don't even think he does more than one case a day, if there's a trial at least. Yeah, criminal court is open to the public. It's not a matter of you can or can't do it. It's a matter of why. Yo, it's a fantasy court. They have fantasy lawyering. Oh, that would be actually kind of fantastic. That is true. You have literal fucking Mega Man villains in this world. God, I gotta see the trial of Bomb Man. Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review. Bullshit. That happens with every fucking case we've done. So, by using this excuse, that means he's never reviewed a case before it started, because it came across his desk yesterday. That is bullshit. But an orca as a defendant, it's patently absurd. I'm not even sure if it's legal, quite frankly. Direct your comments to the defense. He's the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? If we are to proceed, we must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. I don't think you can legally. But I guess they're just gonna be like, we'll do it because, you know, fuck it, why not? Every soul, be it a man or beast, is of equal value. Oh. I don't necessarily believe that, but, you know, it shows it's a good job of showing, like, a lighter side of Blackwill. Most trials weren't that long of a gap, though. And he's never used that excuse before. Well, because he said crying ant from client. It just sounds dumb. It might have been better in the original Japanese. Well, yeah, I just assumed we all knew. Oh, God. Dog, Jesus Christ. I've seen 12 Angry Men. It's good. Question is whether that soul was painted in black or white. Take Taka, for example. He's as human in spirit as you or I. The real question is, am I in for more pain, as always? You missed it. Don't pretend that you don't love the pain. Oh, it's sweet, but it's psycho. Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. That's not how that works. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. Okay, that's good. Now then, Prosecutor Blackwill, your opening statement, if you would. Suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well. Listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Ship-Shape Aquarium and the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died. A sadistic orca, what a chilling thought. But where exactly is this defendant now? Inside this? A cell phone, Prosecutor Blackwill? Time marches on your boldness, with or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium. which will allow us to interact with the orca. We just don't have iPhones at this point. A TV phone, very well. The court accepts it into evidence. We'll be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Yeah, normally they'd have an actual larger monitor for this sort of situation. Wright, prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You've got it, Professor Blackwell. We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Oh, that's cute. Yeah, this is a thing. It's not with the orca, but with a person. Oh, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on? Orla, wish Phoenix and Athena luck. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? This adorable creature is suspected of killing a man? Orla's really pulling on the charm, huh? Just being a whale. She is far from cute. She is a violent, reckless animal. That's right. The name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining it from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. It's true. Orla is not dressed appropriately. Following the report of an orca attack, we the police raced on over to the ship-shape aquarium. There we found a guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there, therefore no one else could have committed the crime. Not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. It will be updated later, so hold on to your... What does he say? Hold on to your... That's Samuel Jackson, right? What the fuck does he say? He didn't say hold on to your dicks, does he? Butts, thank you. Have we ever had a defendant dressed appropriately? What's her face wasn't all that inappropriate, I guess. The forest girl? If I remember correctly. Well, it was only a few weeks ago. Yeah, Juniper. Oddly enough, Larry has not been the worst dressed. So there's that. I mean, Maggie was in her police uniform, which is fine. What the fuck was Will Powers in? Remember he's in that suit later. Was he in the jogging suit? Because yeah, that'd be kind of... You don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do a tracksuit. Max's is actually not the worst, but I wouldn't suggest you wear that. It is still dressy in a very flamboyant sort of way. Edgeworth is dressed appropriately, obviously. What's his fuck? 2-4, the crazy guy. He was also not dressed great. Phoenix was definitely not dressed appropriately. Definitely not. Nor was Waki. Same, he's kind of similar situation there. I guess Maki was fine considering he didn't even live there. I don't even. What the fuck was Ron's outfit? Is that the gold? Like, I guess Ron was kind of overdressed. Yeah, Tenma was mostly fine. But it's still, the thief outfit looked like an over-exaggerated, like, old-timey suit, right? Yeah, Alana Sky would have been appropriate because she was in her prosecutor outfit. Yeah, Matt's jacket was leather, which maybe by itself isn't actually that bad, but the fact that it was red and white, on the other hand, that was more of a problem. Hey, Furio Tigre was not our client. I guess it would look like Ron was cosplaying, right? Vera's was a little too dressed down. Like, it wasn't awful, but it was also her painting clothes. Like, maybe if she got rid of the scarf, the headscarf, I'd think differently about her outfit. But I think that really drags it down in terms of, like, proper courtroom attire, at least. Yeah, so Terry Falls was dressed appropriately insofar as it's very often criminals will come into court with their jumpsuit on. But attorneys are allowed to provide clothing to the defendant to dress themselves up for trials, which is generally what you want to do, because you don't want your defendant sitting there in their prison jumpsuit while a jury keeps looking at them. You want the jury to feel like you're connecting with a human, not somebody who's already been sitting in a jail cell, whether or not that's factual or not. And take a guess as to what that falls under. That little tactic. Psychology! God. Yeah, they must have let him change. I would want him to change for the same reason if I'm the prosecutor's office, as I would wanting my defendant, my client, to change. Athena is going to dress up. I mean, if they're dressed down, then yeah, she should. Can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. What Jackie did, prepare yourself for the grisly details, your boldness. Prosecution moves to introduce our witness, Fulbright. You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak coming right up. Wait. They called Fulbright, who then called her? Hold on. Hold on. Unless he was just telling Fulbright to introduce her. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, am I forgetting something? Where, like, a witness can call a witness? How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby. Prosecutor Blackwell? He actually does not need to take the stand with Blackwell, as Blackwell is currently making arguments right now without Fulbright on the stand. That is entirely unnecessary. Your handler does not need to be on the stand. Nor does Fulbright make his arguments for him when he's actually on direct or addressing the judge. So that doesn't make sense. That's entirely inconsistent. Yeah, it's weird too. Well, I'm Norma de Plume, and I'm a non-fiction writer. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here? Looks like she can read into people's words just as well as I can read into people's hearts. Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma de Plume, the great non-fiction writer, Miss Norma de Plume herself? I've read all of your works and enjoyed them immensely. Your million-seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief, is one of my favorites. Dude would read a book called The Great Grief of the Great Thief. Again, King, what you're saying makes no sense for what I'm talking about. He did not need to call the witness. That was entirely unnecessary, as he doesn't have to do anything for Blackwell except be there. There's no counter to that, because we'll see Blackwell make arguments on his own, and he'll call other people on his own. He does not need Fulbright for that. Doesn't matter if Fulbright's there. Who cares? That's also true, yes. Bailiff's bringing the witness. Fulbright would not be the person bringing the witness. Especially because you are right, he can't leave the room for Blackwell. He has to stay there, which is why he should, as Phantom pointed out, be kind of behind or next to, generally. I wouldn't be next to him, though, when he pulls that sword out. Get slashed. Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you my autograph if you'd like. Wait a second. I could swear you look much different in the photos in your book. Well, I used ones from 10 years ago in my book so that the paparazzi won't harass me. Yeah, I'm sure. It's from 10 years ago. And are not of me. The judge seems so shocked. The visual disconnect must really be doing a number on His Honor's bald-ass head. Can we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you will see your debut in my book. Ooh. Accountability in some form. Bravo! Such harsh comments. You really must be the real Norma de Plume. Who knew Miss de Plume was so famous? Apparently everybody except you. Enough jabbering. Dead of court, what you saw, keep it brief. Oh, thank you to not order me around. I'm perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder. Very well then, please proceed with your testimony. If the game had a higher budget, this would not take place in this courtroom. Oh, what they could have done with this case to add to the silliness and like the ambiance. It could have been really cool. That's because all the protagonists have their heads in fucking toilets all day. You're about having your head in the sand? Well, try having your head in a toilet for 8 hours a day. I went to a ship-shaped aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. I immediately object to her referring to Orla as a killer whale because I do think it provides a prejudice to my client with a very unscientific term. That's like if we were able to call a guy who allegedly murdered someone and was allegedly a gangster, instead of calling them by their name or defendant or whatever, she was allowed to call him gangster or thug or something like that. That wouldn't be allowed. You'd object. There's no way they'd be able to testify like that. That adorable defendant really did all that? It must be much more vicious than it looks. Now deliver your judgment so I may carry out the sentence. Objection! From here? That'd be pretty impressive, actually. The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's all right. Once you drag this out with your tomfoolery. Hold it! Let's go, Athena. The defense always has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know? You know, Athena is great because she has the gumption that Phoenix and Apollo have always lacked. Like, she don't take no shit. She'll be like, fuck you. And I'm like, girl. But see, it doesn't need to be balls, because she doesn't have balls. But she's still a beast. She has gigantic ovaries. Well, depending on how you define balls. Widget's balls! We're absolutely a bad influence on Trep. The inmate told me just this morning, want something signed? All you need is a document and a witness. And a notary. Otherwise, who cares? Well, I guess a will doesn't need to be signed, doesn't need to be notarized in certain places. In which case you can just have 2 witnesses. Let me guess, they were convicted for contract fraud, right? Yeah, exactly. All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that. Looks like I guess you're right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? You even need to ask him. Yes, of course, you may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain. So, the cross-examination theme is fine. I guess I don't have any issue with it, but I don't think it's particularly memorable. Which, like, to be completely honest, I don't think the base cross-examination theme should be all that. Like, this isn't supposed to get you amped. They're starting the slow burn, right? You're supposed to amp it up, amp it up, amp it up, amp it up, amp it up. And so this is supposed to be kind of chill, a little more, not necessarily bland, but a little more unassuming. But as you get more into it, and you get the more intense versions, then it gets better. Well, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not, in its base form, it's not very memorable. I'm not saying it's bad. Objection to her calling it the killer whale. I don't care about all this. I just wanted to make sure that that was objected to. Look at you guys and all your musical terms that I have no idea what they mean. I just know that they exist. Huge and deadly teeth. I mean, the visitors' corridor. War Masato, we got the plume now. I mean, she do got the DSLs. NGL. Okay, remind me, because I'm honestly not sure about this. This is considered backstage, isn't it? This isn't the visitor's corridor. Am I right? Oh, no, she's underneath. Okay, so she is in the visitor's corridor. This is at the bottom, right? That would make more sense. Okay, so she was in the visitor's corridor. Objection! You were obviously not calm. You screamed at the top of your lungs. I mean, could she have seen it from that angle? Maybe? Can't really see it from the security tape angle.
Objection!
I did think that was kind of weak. Suddenly went crazy. Bite the victim to death with a huge mouth. What's weird is, does he have any, like... He don't really have any other wounds. I guess there's this. There's no blood here.
Hold it!
I would think so, like, yeah. Biting him to death. This is where Orla shot him in the head with that 45 caliber revolver that he can obviously use effectively and accurately. You're saying you saw the very moment of the victim's death. That's exactly what I'm saying. Oh, it was simply dreadful. It was as frightening as losing one's manuscript just before a deadline. That's why you back it up and save it on a PC, not just have it fucking written on a physical piece of paper, you dimwit. I suppose for a writer that would be pretty terrifying if you were an idiot. witnessed the killer whale's horrific act, and I knew I had to do something, so... I don't remember there being any information about the police. We don't have the... Oh, we do have the autopsy report. Okay. Blunt force trauma.
Objection!
I didn't realize we had that entire third page. Probably should have looked. It would seem that you are mistaken, Mr. Plume. I beg your pardon. The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be the result of orca attack. The actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten to death. What? What? I'm sure the victim was bitten. Oh, you're surely wrong. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind. And of course, we know everything that happened is only in this one still shot.
Objection!
Objection, humph? Just as I suspected. Blackwell, what is your actual objection? No philosophical pondering. Yeah, I love how he's saying, like, this isn't something that in any fair society he would have had the option to be able to view before the case. Like, this is some big deal. I knew you trying to look at basic discovery before I showed it in court for the first time. I know the systems here are different, but I just like to point out how stupid that is. And if you're in a system where that's considered okay, your system sucks. It sucks gigantic donkey balls. What is a contusion? Isn't a contusion like a heavy bruise? But it's like, isn't a contusion like a bruise against the bone? Is that what marks it as different between a normal bruise and a contusion? Because you can have like a knee contusion or like a hip contusion. Well, two reasons. Two overarching reasons. One, yes, the reason you brought up, and two, the less surprises there are in court, the better. Judges don't want to see surprises. Judges want to make sure that everybody has proper time to prepare their case, because that's just the most fair way to do it. Especially since if they didn't, the defense would almost always be in the hole, like immediately, because the prosecution is with the, works in tandem with the police. They're always going to have access to all the evidence first. What do you mean, Shujinko? Can you elaborate a little more? I don't think I understood what you meant. Like, they both have the same footage that shows that the prosecution's case is 100% incorrect? Or is it that they both have two different things that contradict each other, like Trep said? So, if there's clear video footage that shows the defendant is guilty, first of all, you're not going to trial. Unless you could somehow prove that footage was altered. So that's what you would do. You would get that footage well in advance, and your duty would be to say, well, I guess I need to check to see if this is altered, because if it's not, we're fucked. Like, it's possible that if you went to trial with this as evidence, and you know it's evidence, and you acknowledge that it's legitimate evidence, judge could end up berating you for wasting the court's time, sanctioning you. Well, no. So, okay, let's take a step back. So, the disposition of a case and the sentencing are two different things. You can plead guilty because they have that footage already. So you know you're going to be found guilty, but then at the sentencing, you argue why the sentence should be lighter based on whatever potential mitigating factors you have. But you would not, taking that to a trial, a fact-finding trial in terms of guilt would be folly. Schrodinger's conclusive evidence, right? So yeah, I don't think people necessarily know that, but you can, the sentencing and the fact-finding hearing are two different things. In fact, in a lot of cases, they're even on two different days, because a lot can go into a sentencing hearing. There could be a lot of arguments about that. Yeah, I mean, like, let's take your hypothetical. What I would try to do, what I would look for, like I said, is you can try to see if the footage is altered, because if it's faked, then you can show that there's reason to believe that this footage is not accurate, and it could be thrown out because it's not considered accurate. It might have been tampered with. Assuming that it's considered legitimate, what you would then look for is trying to find mitigating factors as to why their sentence should be shorter. Whether it be no criminal history, they were provoked, they had a lapse in sanity, you know, that sort of thing. But again, this is from my limited criminal knowledge. I know you're picking the footage behind Fulbright's back. Well, what'd you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share? Well, unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all the evidence. You can't re-review it. You can only review it for the first time, unless you subsequently then reviewed it again. Talk on the evidence I gave to you for safekeeping. Pretty hiding under his wing? Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright and Blackwell's book. Of course he is. Very well, let's view the footage. That's where the little thing came from. That makes sense. But I bet this is him trying to save the captain because he was knocked unconscious in the water. But then I guess it would preclude her from being the murderer. The actual murderer. What's this? The orca is biting the victims. No way! But it still contradicts the autopsy report. We still have an issue there. I have to say that this appears to be very damning evidence. I guess if I just completely ignore the autopsy report, then it would be damning evidence. No, I can't believe Orla really bit him. There's more. Look at this. Yeah, where's the fucking blood, doofus? This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist. The crime lab examined the bruise and calculated its relevance to the case at hand. It has to be relevant. Where else would he have gotten that? autopsy report right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Well, you don't have any here. By left side of the body. See the orca's tooth marks on the victim's clothes? Well, I see it on the jacket, not any other part of the clothing. Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did in fact bite the victim. Incorrect. Looks like she bit the jacket. I don't see anything to indicate she bit under the jacket. But sure, let's pretend like we're all morons and can't see that. I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up toward the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma. You should have made that objection long ago, sir.
Objection!
You're much too impetuous. Right, go now. Granted, the orca bite the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. Then what explanation is there for what the witness saw? I don't say in the beginning, the orca toyed with the victim mercilessly. My goodness. After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like any other predator toying with his prey. You know, it's also possible that somebody else killed him, he fell in the water, and then she played around with his body. But your argument doesn't actually preclude that from being the case. And if that's the case, then murder isn't the charge. It would be desecration of a corpse. Which you wouldn't charge an animal with anyways, because that's like your own dog can eat you if you die in the house. Like, do they charge the dogs with desecration of a corpse? No. But he specifically said his dead body, toyed with his dead body, meaning that he was already dead by the time the seal had him in his mouth. He has bite-proof clothes. Ventus, it's fine. Actually, it's fine. The game will make you believe that it's not looking good for Orla because they want you to believe that they want us to believe that we're idiots. But we're not. So we know that's a bunch of bullshit anyways. Mr. Wright, the hearts of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear of Orla. Yeah, that's never good. The defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Yes. Good job, Judge. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have a sound theory to give to this court? Because if he can't prove that the blunt force trauma was caused by the orca, then you can't prove that it was the orca that killed him in the first place, only that it toyed with its body. I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white. Orla's black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, what mistress? Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim. Oh, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it? Now explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand. There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant. But whatever, I don't mind telling my story. Oh, I would too. I mean, my body's dead. It's probably going to decompose more than, like, you could use the organs to donate for at that point anyways. So, eat away. I saw the killer whale before it even... Objection. Toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim. Objection. Victim by headbutting him. Allegedly. Orla killed the victim by headbutting him? That's right, it rammed the victim over and over again. God damn. Well, the autopsy reports say that there was bruises all over his body. As well, how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking a prey. We all just saw the killer whale headbutting the victim in the footage, don't forget. I should mention, like, the stuff that Blackwell said right there, we would 100% want an expert witness in to talk about orcas in this situation. Because otherwise, Blackwell's kind of just pulling shit out of his ass. That footage backups Mr. Plume's testimony, does it? No. There's also something very important it does not show. Oh, do you see what a menace this killer whale is? Objection. But he's not going to give the right objection. He is going to give the right objection, but he should have also objected to the killer whale. I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim. Oh! Whoa! Oh, God, no. I want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? Ah, that's the question I brought up before. What? Oh, well, I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view. So are you admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. He came up from behind the skull-shaped rock and his body was all limp. What else could I think except that the killer whale was headbutting the victim? Objection! I did not love the Marilyn Monroe reference. While I respect using a reference to Marilyn Monroe, that is not where I wanted to see that. Is it a valid alternative term in a courtroom, though? I'm 100% that whatever you looked up does not actually conclude whether it's valid in a courtroom. Like I said, a gangster is a valid term. That doesn't mean they'll allow you to use it against the defendant in testimony. That doesn't really matter. If a judge finds that it could potentially accurately refer to the person, but it's prejudicial, the judge can still say no. But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture. Objection! Oh, must I do everything around here? How dare you speak so rudely to me? There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Oh, you couldn't see what the orca was attacking. You didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had only 1 year prior. Oh. 1 year ago? That's right, yes, that's it. That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim. I'm sorry, but could someone explain what happened a year ago? Now we're getting into the issue of whether it would be allowed to bring in prior acts in his evidence. Which, again, would be something that would be settled before trial, usually. If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year in which the defendant murdered her trainer. What? Orca murdered her trainer, you say? What? Is this really true? It's not looking good for us. It's all in his book. That book, The Killer Whale. That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. Last year, the defendant killed a trainer in the middle of a show. Ah, yes. With all the bruises and bite marks, you know, like that orcas are known for leaving on a human being when they kill them. Ah, but we can't see the back of her head. Although if she was bleeding out of the back of her head, we'd probably see some blood. Orca headbutted and bit the victim. I know it doesn't look like there's any bruises or bite marks anywhere, but just trust me, bro. Anything she's accused of in this case. Orca killed 2 people? That thing is a menace. Guilty, guilty, I say.
Never want to go to the beach again.
You fucking moron. You never went to the beach in the first place. No, now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it. We're doing so well, but now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. This is also something, let's say this actually happened. And there wasn't any discovery beforehand or whatever. This is embarrassing on Phoenix's part for not having researched this beforehand. Just researching orca attacks, which is probably something you should have done anyways, while trying to establish whether or not it's likely that would have happened in the first place and what the conditions would have to be for something like that to happen. One of the most recent orca killings would probably show up in those results. So he looks bad. He looks really bad here. This is some court rust on Phoenix's part. This is an embarrassing lack of research there. Now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. I don't want to think she did it. It's hard to keep on believing in someone who can't even tell me her side. Well, why didn't they kill her last time then? If they determined that she killed the person. They just were like, one's fine. Everybody gets 1. Yeah, he did. He was on the computer in his hospital bed. He just didn't do anything last night. Watched that video over and over again like an idiot. Phoenix, Athena, you gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her. Please, I'm begging you. Sasha, what am I gonna do doubting my client like this? This is the time to be strong. I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll take everybody in this courtroom on if I have to. Let's go. Let's go. Athena's ride or die. I love it. Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Here are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now. I mean, Sasha could save her pretty easily if she just, like, lifts the gate to the ocean and it just swims away. Problem is that Sasha has a problem. For an instant there, you were afraid of the orca, weren't you, right, Downhill? When you saw a photograph of a victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me. I'm one pale son of a bitch. It's all right through me. It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend the orca. It's true that Orla can't speak, and I don't know her thoughts, but there's a certain someone who believes in Orla with all her heart. I respect the trust she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too. Well, this means anything in court. You can talk about it all you want. And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. You didn't even do any research of them last night, or else you would have known about this story.
You negligent practicing attorney. So allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they are cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales.
Okay. They hunt and kill whales. Well, it's a good thing then that the victim isn't a whale. So killer whales really are killers? What terrifying creatures indeed.
Can't bear to hear any more of such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your boldness?
No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know. Yeah, great comeback, Phoenix.
Darling, you don't want to give up, do you? Very well. I shall give you a chance to prove just how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter and lay the full truth on them.
Oh, ho, 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 but of course, that is what I do after all. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? Yeah, so that's an omission of information. Where if I'm the judge, I would be really pissed at the prosecution. They kill killer whales. Okay, what about they kill other whales? Okay, I don't care about that because the victim's not a whale. So, what about humans? But of course, the judge is a fucking moron, so he won't actually do that. He'll just say, oh my god, how terrifying that this whale only kills other whales and other marine creatures. Nothing about humans, but I'm just gonna assume. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about?
Shall I have her testify about what she saw and what she heard?
What she heard? Very well. Miss DePlume, please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. Killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. Oh, and she just happened to be there a year ago too? At the exact same time? Oh, I mean, who didn't know that, dog? I thought their reputation preceded them. She could have written the book after, like, investigating the scene post. A lot of nonfiction writers don't have to see the action happen for them to write about it. Because very few nonfiction writers actually witness their topics occur. Even as a regular. Like, what are you talking about in terms of regular? Once a week? A few times a week? Once every couple months? That's a big difference. Especially when we're talking about she just so happened to see the two murders that the orca allegedly committed 1 year apart from each other. She's a regular, and while she wrote the book, do not actually patch up those suspect inconsistencies. It's still weird. Or not, I shouldn't say inconsistencies, but coinky dinks. Large coinky dinks. As I approached, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it to start to headbutt. But when the pirate hat and victim came floating up, I let out a scream. So the orca displayed the same behavior as during the incident a year ago. That's right, those weren't just simple cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang this swashbuckler spectacular song. Not gonna lie though, if that's what happened, that would be a high level troll. Like, coincidences can just be coincidences. But when there's a potential issue, you still have to address it when we're talking about murder. That's right, it was singing the same song it sang in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing while it was headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible. I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. Claire won't be able to take apart her statements with evidence alone. I guess this means we have to press everything. Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. Or this. It sounds fun. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do. You seem pretty confident. Let me guess. You notice a contradiction between the testimony and her emotions. You bet I did, and once we expose it, we just might be able to crack her. No, scratch that. Make it, we'll definitely be able to. Then let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try. You got it, boss. A complete analysis of Misty Plume's heart coming right up. Your Honor, objection? What in the Sam hell is happening over there? I know he's seen it on you. Oh! When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, we find the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. God damn it. Well, like, she wasn't as sad as, like, I thought she would be. Is it this? And I had it the opposite? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that you would be shocked that the whale started singing if you didn't expect it. Although if she were a regular, you'd think she would know that. Got it. Mr. Plume, Orla really frightened you with their headbutting, didn't she? Don't be absurd. I certainly was not frightened by the likes of any killer whale. Must have been something else that scared her then, boss. However, I do remember being very afraid for some reason while it was doing that. Sounds like maybe you saw something we haven't discussed yet. Take your time and try to remember what it was. What did you see? This is practically turning into a counseling session. You must be new to being an attorney, Phoenix. Yo, what's up, Mr. Dominguez? I saw something? Oh, I remember now. By 50%. Okay, good. Now, if you could please tell the court what you saw. I saw bright red blood. A killer whale's ramming caused the victim to bleed. There was a great cloud of blood. What? Except for, the complete lack of puncturing of the body or bloodstains anywhere. Yep, that's it. That's why I was so sure. That's when I knew the killer whale had killed the person for a second time. Well, that was a very compelling statement indeed. Looking at this again, there does appear to be something that could be a cloud of blood. Their terror was a reaction to blood, wasn't it? It certainly explained what happened yesterday. I was badly injured during an interview once. Ever since then, I've been terrified of blood. The very sight of it dreadfully upsets me with my delicate sensibilities. This is a bad turn. Mr. Plume saw blood. Does that mean Orla really did attack the victim? It would appear. I guess we lost. Game over. It did autosave. It autosaved at the beginning of this day. Oh yeah, I did save there, you're right. So yeah, that wasn't an autosave.
Objection! Hold it!
Why is that being held for review?
Objection! Objection!
I know, right? Look at this breakneck speed. All I have to do is not give analysis.
Objection! 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 Objection!
I originally got it for when I used my Xbox controller. It would cause my index or my middle finger, one of the two, to swell on one of the joints. So that's one of the reasons I bought the glove. But then when I was looking for gloves, they said this one can also help stabilize joints for like button mashing and stuff like that to protect against arthritis. And since I was speed running a lot at the time, I thought that'd be pretty important. Button clicks, mouse clicks, anything like that. And it's also serves as the mirror Athena.
Got it!
It does work. It took a little, because this is like it's actually snug. It's supposed to be snug, because otherwise if it's not snug, how is it supposed to work? But I can't remember what game it was that I was speedrunning, but Mega Man X maybe? It would always end up causing my wrist to hurt, and once I started using this, that wasn't a problem anymore. So there's like, something about it works. Live dangerously, people. I think Amazon. I said dangerously light, not stupidly. Well, like, I don't have constant arthritis, but like, obviously I do things enough where it can start to hurt some of the joints, and hopefully then this will help prevent it from getting worse. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had to wear this recently because I haven't really been, like, none of the games I've been playing has been like hardcore gaming. Like, I haven't really been speedrunning or anything like that, so I just haven't had a reason to do this. Or clicking furiously like that. Well, I wonder if I should start wearing it for Genshin. Genshin isn't a super intense game, but maybe I should just because.
It would appear that orcas are even more vicious than I am. So, how does it feel to be thoroughly rammed by your own cross-examination, right, Dono?
Wouldn't be the first time. What do you do now, boss? Testimony was not at all what I expected to hear. Wait a minute. There's still some discord left in Mr. Plume's heart. What? You mean there's more? Yes, but there's no telling what it is. It could be something even more damaging. Oh, really? Sometimes that stuff works. Just kind of hard to determine which one to go with, right? Although I guess with the advent of online reviews, it's a little easier now, right? Unless you like went down to your local apothecary and just picked one randomly. Is there even anything left of our case to damage? Well, whatever it is, we have to face it head on. You know, you believe in Orla, right? If so, there's no reason for us to shy away from the truth. Yeah, Smash was a really intense game for that too, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I know we can handle the truth, whatever it is, so let's delve a little deeper. Got it, boss. Huh? Her fear appears to lessen here at this statement. Ah, so I was one step ahead. Obviously. It's like a medicine, like an old-timey, like, medicine shop. Sometimes they'll call, like, potion shops or whatever in games apothecaries. Is that how it's pronounced? Apothecary? It's spelled apothecary, but the apothecary. Apothecary. Archaic English term. God damn it. Of course I use archaic terms. Mr. Plume, weren't you afraid when you saw the victim with blood coming out of him? Oh, that's a very good question. I was shaken after witnessing a murder, yes, but then the blood seemed to disappear. Disappear? Why do you suppose that was? Simple, it was because of the pirate hat. So the killer whale put the hat on, the cloud of blood disappeared.
Objection!
Thank you. And how exactly does that work? How should I know? I'm just telling you what I remember, Blue Boy. Wait a minute. From whom was this blood that Mr. Plume saw actually coming from? Wait. Was it the...
Take that!
Consider this. Maybe the one who was bleeding wasn't the victim. I beg your pardon? What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? There's no one else in that pool besides the victim. Well, I wouldn't say there was no one else. It is an orca pool, after all.
What? And where is this alleged injury on the defendant?
Where were you in Turnabout Serenade, Blackwell? Jesus Christ. Natural remedy only insofar as it was a thing during the time where we didn't have these synthetic remedies. Now, that term fell out of vogue, and now we have pharmacists and pharmacies. If we still use the term apothecary, I think we would still apply that to, we would be applying that instead of pharmacist. But we just, you know, that it's a term that just kind of fell out of favor. Because I don't think it requires the remedies to be natural. It just so happens that they were all natural because of the time period in which the word was used. I'm not sure, but if simply wearing the pirate hat made the blood disappear, then the blood must have been coming from somewhere on Orla's head. Whoa! Orca's head? What are you prattling on about? Oh, why didn't he ask him what he's playing at? That was a great opportunity for that. Please think about it again, Mr. Plume. Think back to what you really saw. Hi. That is, the one who was bleeding was not the victim, but the killer whale? I remember now. There wasn't any blood coming from the victim after all. You know, one, I think, unintentional effect of this that I really like is that instead of the witnesses being constantly just, we're just hiding things until we need, oh, I remember, and you're like, no, fuck off. Like, it's showing instances where the witnesses legitimately did not remember because of a trauma or whatever, and that generally paints those witnesses in a more favorable light than the constant, like, oh, they just happen to forget, huh? Whereas, like, here it seems like she legitimately did not know. More legitimately did not know. She could still just be, it could just be one big, you know, fucking show, but it seems more legitimate now than it does normally when we point out contradictions. It's just like, oh, I remember now. Oh, I can't believe I left this information out. Yeah, I mean, memory is fickle. As you can tell when somebody's bullshitting. Yeah, that's true. I guess that's probably why I would consider most of the witnesses in Great Ace Attorney to be better than, well, I guess if I didn't like the witnesses in the Great Ace Attorney games, it's because they just sucked, as opposed to, like, that same pattern that kept up. That got really annoying. Like, the couple, they were annoying. Mario Bros were annoying. I know some people like them. Alright, my dog's being annoying. Hold on. I need... What? What? There you go. Ugh. I would defend you in court. Actually, that'd be probably a bad idea. I would pay for the best defense attorney possible to defend you in court. Something. Okay. Guess I gotta be careful. Here's gonna take a job. We did it! Analytical psychology got us what we needed from her. That was a huge help, Athena. Also pretty dicey for a while, though. Well, compared to your nothing that you had. But this is a surprise. The blood the witness saw was the defendant's, not the victim's. That is correct. And since there was no blood coming from the victim, only one thing we can conclude. That what Mr. DePlume witnessed was not the moment of the murder she claims.
Objection!
Really, it's more that she believes. Because she might legitimately believe that that's what she saw.
Thought you were unarmed, but it turns out you were concealing a sword all along.
What the hell kind of objection is that, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Nevertheless, it is far too dull to cut to the bone.
I mean, I could still kill you with it, though. Meaning?
I grant that what the witness saw was not the victim's blood, but it proves nothing. After all, being rammed doesn't always result in a wound that bleeds, does it?
It would normally at least have a gigantic bruise. Not little or smaller bruises. From what? Just the nose? The nose? Was it?
Yeah, from internal hemorrhaging is also a possibility.
That is true. He has a point there.
You wish to challenge me to a duel. Only a sharper blade than that. Right, Dodo. I demand evidence that proves the witness did not see the moment of the murder.
Something big things. I'm correct, and the victim's death occurred. The victim was already dead when Orla started her headbutting. And that would mean he died sometime before Miss DePlume was watching her. The events Miss DePlume witnessed took place around 10:10 a.m. Must have happened. I must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m. The fucking thing. It's...
Take that!
Before 10:10. I mean, like I said, there's this, but does that...
Take that!
We've only seen the footage from 10:09 to 10:10, Which means there's still footage going back further than what we need, further that we need to check. Does it just say it went back to 10 a.m.? That makes sense. Your Honor, I request that all the security footage be played for the court. All the footage? Like, that's uncommon. Mr. Plume witnessed the cloud of blood at around 10:10 a.m., but I believe the victim was already dead by that time. The assertion is that the murder took place before Mr. Plume arrived. Exactly. The security camera footage starts at 10 a.m. when the aquarium opened. I believe there's vital evidence in the 10 minutes before.
You're quite the gambling man right there now. You're honestly willing to risk everything
for those mere 10 minutes? What the fuck are you talking about? I've been on slimmer chances before, but when he puts it that way. My boss is no coward, Prosecutor Blackwell, so I suggest you get ready to eat humble pie. Uh-oh. Can't back down now. Lest I look the fool. Yeah, I mean, hours of footage is something people have to do quite frequently. Well, if the defense is that confident in its importance. Prosecutor Blackwell, the security footage. Right? Like, they're acting like 10 minutes is a significant amount of time. It is not. Roger, I have the rest of the security footage right here. Very well, please play it for the court. Please have something for me. Any more night classes tonight, Tom? Or I should say, did you have any night classes tonight? This is what it looked like at 10:10 a.m. The witness can be seen here. All right, I'll just back the footage up to the beginning now. Our security footages are only taken like every, what, 45 frames? It appears Mr. Plume hasn't arrived yet at this point. Now, see if I can find something from before this point in time. Is that it? Yep, that's all the footage there is. Well, Mr. Wright, did you see what you were looking for? We got nothing.
Well, right, Dono. I was worth the 10 minutes you placed your bet on. See anything of significance?
I see something important? I better think about this carefully. The footage we see? I mean, yeah. If we didn't see anything important, that would be a fucking problem then, wouldn't it? This is the important thing the footage shows. I don't... There.
Take that!
Good argument, Phoenix. something that should be in the footage isn't there.
That's what I was trying to look for.
Oh, do they want... I see.
Take that!
They don't want to point us to point at something that isn't there. They want us to say... You can see nothing of importance in that footage. Just my fault. Oh, you're right about that. That section was completely meaningless. It doesn't show a thing. That's why I didn't submit it as evidence.
Objection!
No, it's just the opposite. Oh, what do you mean by that? In this 10 minutes of footage, something important should be there that isn't. Detective Fulbright, this footage should have been submitted as evidence. What? Are you questioning the way I carry out my duty to justice? Oh, really? You never had a contracts midterm. So I just had to dread it all in the final. What's, is there anything specific that's terrifying you? Oh, sweet! Congratulations, Mr. Dominguez. On Olivia now eating for 2 individuals. That's awesome news.
Good night, Amadeus.
Mr. Wright, explain yourself, please. What is this important thing that you say should be in the footage but isn't? Can I? No, I can't do profiles. I feel like you should have the UCC like available to you during a test, because in 99% of circumstances in real life, you would be able to have the UCC in front of you. So it's actually more important that you're able to find what you need in an efficient period of time than simply knowing it off the top of your head, especially because you're not likely to retain that knowledge, like meaningfully retain that knowledge in the future anyways. You're gonna have to go back and look anyways, and even if you did meaningfully retain that knowledge, you would have to go back and check to make sure nothing was ever changed. No, the it's uniform commercial code, right? I think that's just stupid and impractical. Like that's not helping you learn how to practice. It doesn't have its hat, but also the captain isn't there. Oh, I just noticed. He has his, why does he have his thing there but not here? Also, he doesn't have his walkie-talkie in there. Is it just him? And if that's the case, what do we show?
Take that!
What? If the victim was alive, what are we showing exactly?
Take that!
Let's go right back in and try that again.
Guilty.
At least you get one essay. We didn't get any essay questions for our contracts exam, which I thought was horseshit. That's why I just picked something. I was like, let's get back to full health and then... What should we have seen? Like, this is my first thought. But I wanted to get this out of the way so we could go full health. That was like a peripheral thought.
Take that!
The important thing we should see in the footage is the victim himself, Jack Shipley. Right. Okay, so... The problem is I feel like you could have used all three of those and it show and it say the same thing. Or just let you use the profile. I guess I don't see why it needed to be the death pictures. I don't know about you, but I didn't see him get in the pool in that footage. Oh. Oh, that's right. If the victim is not shown entering the pool in this footage, it means that he must have been there by the skull rock during those 10 minutes. No human being can hold their breath underwater for that long. Wait a minute, are you saying... I used to think that too, Ventus, except consider that in law school, a good professor is going to grade your essay based on how well you make an argument, not necessarily whether he agrees with it or not, or she, or them, agree with it or they agree with it or not. And that makes essay questions significantly better in law school than multiple choice questions, especially since there is so much room for arguments. I used to love multiple choice tests. In law school, garbage. Absolute garbage. Yeah, I think what's more important is that you know that they know the law and that they can argue based on their knowledge of the law. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, they don't necessarily have to agree with you. And that's what's better with essay questions versus multiple choice questions. You could get something wrong, technically wrong, or something that the professor doesn't agree with. But you can still get almost full marks because you argued it well. You don't get that with multiple choice. You're either right or you're wrong. And see, in law school, like, it's the exact opposite. They expect you to be as concise as possible. They want you to be as concise as possible. They don't want you to write extra fluff for no reason. Other than to write extra fluff. So I think in that regard, you would like writing law essays. Or essays, or responding to legal essay questions. Apparently that had to be held for review. Is that like low-key some really bad swear word in some other language? Yo, easy. When the security camera started up at 10 a.m., the victim was already dead. What? Order in the court. If that's the case, then when was the victim murdered? I don't know, Your Honor, but we now know it had to have been sometime before 10 a.m. Therefore, this footage can no longer be called decisive evidence against my client.
And no one else who could have killed the victim?
I don't know why I gave him a different accent there. Not necessarily. The defense believes that the true culprit may have been human. We have evidence to back up our theory as well.
Do you now? I'll be very interested in seeing this evidence.
That's a trump card, that thing we found during our investigation yesterday. Well, so far as to call it decisive, but now's the time to play it. Very well, Mr. Wright, please submit your evidence. The evidence shows that the crime may have been committed by a human.
Take that!
What's this? A coin? Yes, a fake coin used in the aquarium's pirate show. We found it beside the pool. This coin is quite possibly the real murder weapon. This tiny little coin is the murder weapon. Mr. Wright, if this is another one of your bluffs.
As I say, the bolder the presentation, the less confident the solicitor.
This is no... Dude actually called me a solicitor. He is super British. This is no bluff, and this isn't the only coin. There are 300 of these coins altogether, weighing about a total of about 7 pounds. This one just happens to have blood on it.
Did you have the blood analyzed to say who it is? Whose it is?
That's the fucking government's job, bruh. Not yet. There were coins scattered all around the body, and the victim had a head wound. Taking these things into account, I believe it has to be the victim's blood. Well, apparently you can find out in like 25 minutes, so let's send it to the lab. So to put it together, we have about 7 pounds of coins by the side of the pool. One of them with a blood stain on it. The answer is pretty clear here. Your Honor? The defense proposes that the victim was killed beside the pool. The side of the pool? But if the murder took place there, it would be difficult to say the orca did it. Yeah, that's kind of our point. I realized that you were trying to defend your client, but that theory is preposterous. How could 300 coins possibly be made to hit someone all at once? It'd be pretty easy if they're in a bag or headscarf or something of that nature. And so where is this bag the coins were in? Fortunately, Your Honor, we recovered nothing of the sort from the scene. Possible the culprit took it with them. Probable. They took it. Yes, because they're not a complete idiot. The true culprit used the coins as a blunt instrument to commit murder and threw the body into the pool before the security camera started up. When they left, taking the bag the coins were in with them. They got rid of the evidence that points to a human culprit to pin the blame on Orca. That was brilliant, Mr. Wright. You found a way to introduce the possibility of a human perpetrator. Yeah, somehow. Well, let's hope my luck holds out. Yeah, and laws. Consider law like the mathematics of the linguistic world when it comes to like what you're supposed to do. You answer things plain and logically, as concise as possible. You don't drag things out. That looks bad. Makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, it sucks. My first semester of legal writing was not very good because I had to reinvent the way I would write things. I struggled with it for at least a semester. I wonder why Prosecutor Blackwell hasn't said anything. The possibility of a perpetrator other than the defendant has now been suggested. If we hold this possibility to be true, then what did Mr. Plum witness? That's right! I saw the killer whale attack the victim. Objection. Just say it just like it did a year ago, singing a song. Objection. I guess there still is that. Even with somebody else as a culprit, Orla's behavior still seems pretty bizarre. Not if you understand that the whale was trying to save the captain from drowning, because he realized he was dead already. But why she was doing the same thing she did a year ago. That ain't really that bizarre. What do you mean? Explain the inexplicable. All we have to do is turn our thinking around. It's not even inexplicable! Turn our thinking around, huh? Sounds good to me. Time to give the old turn my thinking around method a try. It is turning it around, yes. But it's not inexplicable. Instead of trying to figure out why Orca did the same thing she did a year ago, I should consider the results that were produced by her behavior this time around. Orca sang a song, did some headbutts, and bit the victim. The real culprit wanted to shift the suspicion to Orla, then they would have needed to give people reason to think Orla did it in the first place. Mr. Wright, as a lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? I believe we should think of it in this way, Your Honor. What kind of effect did Orla's actions have on the case? Very well, then why don't you explain it for the court? How did the defendant's actions affect the case? Mr. Plume focused her attention on the Orca pool because she heard the song. The Orca's act of singing the song created a witness. Created a witness? Isn't it possible that the fabricating of a witness was the real culprit's true intention? After all, Mr. Plume witnessed two things. She saw Orla headbutt something over and over, and she saw the Orca bite the victim. These two actions of Orla's might have been the real culprit's plot to make the witness think the Orca was attacking the victim. Are you saying that the defendant was being manipulated by the true perpetrator? Exactly, and that would explain Orla's actions perfectly. But the defendant is an Orca. Is it even possible to manipulate her? Yes, there's a way to manipulate Orla's behavior. This.
Take that!
Is this a whistle? Yes, Your Honor. Trainers at the aquarium use whistles to issue commands to Orla. But in truth, anyone can do it provided they know the right signals. Ah, that must be how they got Orla to do tricks for their pirate shows. The true culprit hid the body in a spot that couldn't be seen from the visitor's corridor. Then, when Mr. Plume appeared, they gave Orla the commands. In other words, Orla was manipulated by the culprit to perform a series of tricks. What? And as for you, Mr. Plume, you were manipulated by the true culprit to play the part of the witness. I, Norma de Plume, was set up. I, Norma de Plume, writer extraordinaire. Oh God, was used. Can we zoom out? No. No. Oh God. He suddenly didn't look like someone on a corpse party or anything like that. Mr. Plume, please do something about your attire and your lack of pupils all of a sudden. That was one wardrobe malfunction I did not want to see. It would appear we need to shift our suspicion towards someone other than Orla. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have the blood-stained coin analyzed. You waste your breath. I guess even Prosecutor Blackwell can't refute the possibility of a human suspect. You did it, boss! The crime happened beside the pool. There's no way an Orca could have done it. Not unless they had a .45 caliber revolver they could shoot with accuracy twice. Now, if only we could find the bag the coins were in. In light of the new discovery, it would appear that the Orca couldn't have done it. Exactly, Your Honor. The blood on the coin proves to be that of the victim. It can unequivocally overturn Orla's actions.
Objection!
God damn it.
overturn a defendant's accusation? I think not.
God damn. What? He just regrew it? Or another one just fell down like it was waiting? Next man up, next man up. My hair, my beautiful hair.
Yesterday, a new inmate was brought into the prison. He said, the moment you relax is when you're most vulnerable.
Man, what did this man go in for?
He's merely a snaky thief who enjoys a spot of fishing now and again. Right down here would be easier to hook than any fish.
Hawk sure does love the judge's head. What's this? That coin from before in some sort of bag? A bag? I don't think I'm gonna like this.
This is a coin bag that 300 coins are in. I believe you were looking for this?
If I'm the judge, I am absolutely furious right now. Why the flying fuck did you wait until right now to finally reveal that you had the bag the entire time?
How did you get that? Ever said we didn't find it at the crime scene. I had blood on it, so naturally I had it sent to the crime lab.
And does the blood belong to the victim?
It does indeed, as does the blood on the coin.
You haven't analyzed the blood on the coin.
So the blood on the coin did belong to the victim.
Unless he analyzed the coin and then put it back?
The bag was open and coins had all spilled out. The bag alone wasn't proof enough to say that it was used as a murder weapon. However, thanks to the defense and their coin, I'm more than satisfied that it was.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you conceding that the true culprit committed the murder with the bag of coins?
I shall concede that the victim was put into the pool after his death. However, even with the bag, it doesn't change the fact it was an orca that killed the victim.
Okay. Is he gonna say the dude stood in that spot and instead of kicking the volleyball at him, the orca fucking kicked the bag of coins at him, hit him over his head or behind his head, which killed him, and then he fell in? Ooh, boy. What? How can you still suspect Orla?
He said the true culprit manipulated Orla's behavior. Orla's the kind of orca that would let someone control him. And I think Orla used the victim's behavior against him to murder him.
What? But are you arguing that the orca manipulated a human being?
To prove it, I've summoned another witness. Marlon Rhymes. Take the stand.
Marlon Rhymes is a witness? The orca manipulated the human. Not that that's impossible, but considering the human was very well trained in the matter, very unlikely. Very unlikely. He has created a burden of proof for himself that will be incredibly difficult to meet.
Don't just stand there. State your name.
I told you I didn't want to be a witness.
I thought one witness would be quite enough to prove the defendant's guilt. But apparently right down there won't be satisfied till every stone is turned. Like a good attorney, I guess. Son of a...
Alright, fine. If I gotta talk, then let's get this over with. Mr. Rhymes doesn't seem like a willing witness. Prosecutor Blackwell is going to have him testify about. So could we have your name and occupation for the record, witness? Oh, yo, ho, ho, people of the law, time to testify. Chilling with my crew at the ship shape, orcas, penguins, and the seascape. Oh, God. Cleaning and feeding, there ain't no end.
But them bratty kids' toys I shall transcend. Noob animal keeper from the house of rhymes. I'm the master keeper, mauling with the rhymes. Oh my, I'm afraid I couldn't understand a word you said. It was very clear. Do you think, was he mumble rapping instead? Oh, people are to testify. Sure with my crew at the ship shape, work with penguins in the seascape. Clean my feet, I know when, but them bright kids' doors I shall transcend. No animal keeper from the house of rhymes, and a man to keep him burning with the rhymes.
This is too outrageously stupid to be angry at. too outrageously stupid for me to even be mad at. Like, this is absurd. Who ever heard hip hop and thought to themselves, that flip-flop music? Oh, God. Not only that, but by this point, it's been around for what, 40 years? '50th anniversary this year. Wait, like this year for us, or it would be in 2026? An eighth of his life. Fucking 320-year-old dude. Okay, so this year. So 50 years. So that by this point, 53 years. Oh, but it's what these youngins listen to. So apparently, once he hit like 20, he looked at other people as youngins. He didn't know nail polish existed. That's exactly why we shouldn't give him a break. Is that flip-flop music? so stupid. Okay. Is that flip-flop music young people nowadays like? So close, Your Honor. So close, and yet so far. Please proceed with your testimony, witness, without the flip-flop. Okay, fine. But I don't want to do this, I tell you. I feel like I'm selling Sasha out. At about 10 a.m., I was in the staff room. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to the door to look in. I couldn't see the captain or the orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. Orca knows there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with her. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there and hit the captain. Objection! Speculation! The only thing he should be testifying to right now is there is a spot where the whale can hit a volleyball. To be fair, I could see a scenario where the judge would disagree with my objection. If he then says, well, in your expert opinion, but the problem is that it's still so speculative. Like, that's a really large leap. We're like, again, they might allow it. But it really just seems like he's pulling this out of a hat. Did he call himself a noob? I thought he was calling other people a noob, but that's not a bad argument, though. I think maybe. Oh, God. So again, it's not like I'm 100% confident, but I'm pretty confident. It's just, I think it would take a bad decision for this to be something that would actually be considered. So that gives us a little more info about the area around the orca pool. That I already knew, besides the speculation. The defendant made the stuff fall down?
Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered all over the pool room floor. There's no doubt it was the orca that caused this mess.
But could she really have done that from within the pool?
As I said, the orca is the only one that could have performed such a feat. The pool and its room were tidied the night before, including its various odds and ends.
Why couldn't another human have done that? Or are you just providing a conclusory statement with no substance to back it up?
They were the only ones that could do it.
Why?
Yeah, the room was tidied up the night before.
Okay. How does that preclude a human from creating that mess in a struggle?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I would too, as an employee. He obviously has more knowledge than a layperson would. But, like, it's a matter of how much more knowledge, how credible is he as a witness? That would come into question. I mean, I think bringing that up is a good point that the judge would then have to consider. Yeah, which is why I wanted Sasha here, but she had to be there to watch the orca. But the problem would be with Sasha is that as Orla's handler, there is a legitimate argument that her opinion is biased.
But when our Ryman Marlin checked on the scene, over 400 pounds of props had fallen. Me all in one go would challenge even the brawny prisoner on the cell next to mine.
What is he, the jail gossip? Yeah, right?
So, out of 400 pounds of items fall all at once, I'll tell you how. Orca pulled on the cloth that was underneath him. A weight that would be all but impossible for a human to move. It was child's play to an orca. During a friendly game of volleyball, the defendant made the crates fall. A bag of coins that was among the items fell on the victim's head and killed him. Orca then toyed with the victim's body underwater, which is what Mr. Plume saw.
Objection!
But the witness only said he heard a loud noise. It doesn't automatically make it the sound of Orla making the items fall. Also, why did you only look in the pool room anyways, Mr. Rhymes? I mean, this brings up another point. If this is what they're accusing the whale of, then this isn't premeditated murder by an animal. It's negligence on the part of the victim. Like, the whale literally just did what he was trained to do. She did what she was trained to do. Like, ugh. I feel like that's the end of the case right there. Okay, sure, I'll stipulate to that. So it's the victim's fault because the whale literally only did what she was trained to do as an animal. Move on to the next case. Elka sometimes makes a loud noise to summon a trainer. I'm still a newbie, so I don't have a security card to get into the pool room yet. So even if she tries to summon somebody, there isn't much I can do about it. I see. So the witness couldn't enter the crime scene.
Objection!
If Mr. Rhymes couldn't enter the room, there's at least one thing he can't be sure about. His statement that the orca was playing volleyball is purely speculation.
Silence!
Well, yeah, we already knew that. Expert speculation, but still, like...
Whether the orca was actually playing volleyball or not is not the issue. Traces of the orca saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. Important point is that the orca is the only one that could have moved the items.
I have to discredit that statement somehow. If I don't, it'd mean that Orla was a culprit even if the victim died beside the pool. Alright, fish boy. What? No, he wasn't. Well, he was in the staff room, but didn't... Wait. Am I missing something, or isn't this completely contradict what Pearl said?
Objection!
You say you were in the staff room? But is that really true? Of course it's true. Why would I lie about a thing like that? Mr. Rhymes, have you ever seen this calendar before? Hey, that's... See, you recognize it. Yeah, that's the rifle calendar. It's a big hit at the Shipshape Aquarium gift shop. Thank you for shopping at Shipshape. Mr. Rhymes, please refrain from scattering fish around the witness stand. Who even let you in here with that?
Not to worry, your boldness. Talking will have them cleaned up in no time.
I guess that bird does come in handy now and then. Alright, Mr. Wright, we've all seen your cute souvenir. Now, if you don't mind. No, Your Honor, this isn't my calendar. It was originally the witness's, but it came into possession of a certain young lady. What? Mr. Rhymes and this young lady first met each other in the food prep room. After a mishap, their calendars got switched around. They ran into each other at about 10 a.m. in the food prep room. Based on her testimony that you're not going to be able to cross-examine. So clearly the witness was not in the staff room. In other words, there's no way he could have heard the noise of the pool room upstairs. He doesn't even have an affidavit from her. He's just saying this shit. Arr!
What's this? This is the first I'm hearing about any calendar.
Oh yeah? That was first I was hearing about any fucking bag with blood on it, so I guess we're even, huh, motherfucker. It's because Mr. Rhymes and Pearls were keeping it a secret.
You lied to me. This transgression will not go unpunished.
Ah! So, Mr. Rhymes, you didn't hear the noise of the equipment falling after all, did you? Okay, I admit it, I didn't hear the noise in the orca pool room myself. But someone told me about it. Here we go. Get ready for it. Who told you about it? It was, Unless you tell the truth, Mr. Rhymes, I can't save Orla. I'm sure you know how sad that would make Miss Buckler. Y'all know how much you really want to throw it in her. I heard about it from Sasha. What? From Miss Buckler? Well, that doesn't make sense. What's going on here?
That was the trainer's own words that drive the orca into a corner.
Not if that shit ain't admissible in court, motherfucker. Objection.
How you like being bitten by your own client, right, Dono?
I certainly didn't see this coming.
But perfect timing. Something I wanted to ask Miss Buckler about the orca. Prosecution calls the trainer Miss Sasha Buckler to the stand.
Yes, I suppose it would be a good idea to hear what the orca's trainer has to say. I don't know what Sasha's going to say, but I'll just have to meet it head on, whatever it is. We will take a 20-minute recess while the witness is summoned.
Somebody once told me your testimony's phony. You ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Mr. Wright, are you going to cross-examine Sasha? I guess I'll have to ask her about the noise from the stuff falling down. Mr. Wright? Mr. Rhymes, why'd you lie? I didn't want Sasha to have to appear in court. Thought if anybody had to testify, I should be the one to do it for. But why would you go to all those lengths? Did you see the entry for the 20th on that calendar? A note about meeting the captain at the orca pool. Yeah, on that calendar in the nap room. I think it's probably Sasha's. What? Then that means... I guess it does look like more of a woman's calendar than a man's. I didn't want suspicion to fall on Sasha. Mr. Wright, I gotta go back to the aquarium to look after the orca in Sasha's place. I'll be rooting for you on the other end of that TV phone. Please take care of Sasha. Okay, we can't let Prosecutor Blackwell get the best of us. Time to refocus. You're right. After all, we're the only ones that can save Orla. Court will now reconvene. Prosecutor Blackwell, please call the witness to the stand.
Again, you waste your breath.
Me name be Sasha, and I be one of Captain Orla's swashbucklers. I came to rescue me bucko from the false charges placed on her by dread pirate No Stash.
No stash?
I guess No Stash refers to Prosecutor Blackwell this time. Well, he can't be the judge. He has a mustache and a full beard. Now then, Captain Judge, shall we begin the pirate court? Captain Judge? I rather like that. Makes me feel like a salty old sea dog. And scene. How's that for a self-intro?
Court is not a show.
I really, really hate him.
Court is not a show, but I'll have my fucking hawk fly around whenever I need it to and attack people, land on the judge's head, pull my sword out, cut people's hair. Oh, no, but the court's not a show.
Fucking piece of shit. I'm Sasha Buckler. I work at Shipshape Aquarium. I perform in our Swashbuckler Spectacular Pirate Show alongside Orla as her trainer. Well, you seem like a completely different person now. Just say real! Why do it? This is so dumb. You really think so? Thanks. I was in my Pirate Show persona just then. Ugh. Prosecutor Blackwell said I can introduce myself any way I like. I bet money he didn't think you were going to do it like that.
And what will this witness testify about? The orca manipulated the victim into playing volleyball and then knocked the items down. The witness will report about hearing the noise that caused the victim's death.
The noise that caused the there are so many reasons why that sentence is stupid. One, noise cannot, well, okay, a noise could cause death, but you know how loud a noise would have to be the, like, exact cause of death? Two, if we're talking simply about the noise that someone heard and then they went in there and he was dead, that's still very speculative as to whether or not whatever happened during the noise was then the cause of death. Which, again, it's just, like, you could say it's expert testimony, it still isn't that good. No, it seems trash in this game compared to the prior games. At least I feel like I'm calling it out more often.
Now wait just a minute. Sure, Orla uses the ball to break props sometimes. She even spiked the ball out of the giant octopus's leg yesterday when I was cleaning. So Orla was the one who broke that leg, huh? But she couldn't have knocked down that huge stack of equipment with her little ball. I thought you were paying attention to try over the telecast. But you apparently know nothing of what we have been discussing. The orca knocked down the equipment by pulling on the cloth that was underneath it. No one said anything about the orca knocking it down with a ball.
What? Subscription! Oh, I was like, what is that? K-Cass? Thank you for the sub. Oh, Raider. Oh, God. Now, is this Cass's raid? Oh, Ancient One Cass. Baby, thank you for coming in on the raid. I mean, it was, Tom, it's my own voice. That's what kind of startled me. What? What? Oh, Bane the Barbarian. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. Barbarians raiding the pirate Admiral Court. Boy, I'd love to see some pirates versus barbarians. You guys find that annoying? I think there's something oddly satisfying about this noise. Hello, Rain. Yeah, knife ASMR. Hey Jeff, no, that case is done. That case is done. So I'm past it now. I'm past it. Hello, Bane. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. What were you playing on this fine evening time zone? Wait, please tell me that's an actual, like, fan game. And you're not just referring to Hogwarts Legacy. Alright, fair enough. I was like, oh man, might have to go check that out. Well, thank you so much for the raid. There's Bane's link. Make sure to go check him out. From sub, show him some love for throwing the radar away. I greatly appreciate it. For those that are new here, my name's Twain. I am an attorney, licensed practice in the state of Wisconsin, as well as the Eastern District of Wisconsin, all federal courts in the United States of A. We're playing Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. This is the fifth entry in the main line of games. And it has not been great so far. This is actually the DLC case, because they're having me, people told me to play this after the second case. This is the third case we're playing. It's not actually the third case, DLC case. Timeline-wise, this makes sense. And that is Sasha Buckler, who keeps playing with her fake sword. I mean, I feel like I have a sense of humor, right, JB? Oh yeah, no worries, Cass. Enjoy playing when you do. Thanks for coming into the raid. She would be normally. This is a situation in which her she's none too pleased with the situation. I'll say to avoid spoilers for anyone that like Cass that just wanted to come in but don't want to be spoiled as these games. There we go. I got some japes. Got some japes for you. Stick around long enough, you'll hear some of them. I don't know. Did I put you under hypnosis? Are you telling me it's not hypnosis? I've been telling everybody about my hypnotic powers, and that's been a lie this entire time? Son of a bitch. Guess I'll have to take that off my resume. ATZ. It's ridiculous. Well, it's been fun. I've actually had more problems with some of the contentions of the prosecution in this case, in terms of like them showing us stuff and it's very clearly problematic. And we're just like, this is very clearly problematic. And Phoenix is sitting there like, oh no, this is bad for us. And I'm like, I thought you became competent. Apparently not for DLC cases though. I'll give him some slack. This is some some court rust. Although it's when he wasn't an attorney in court, he could be the baddest ass of all. But I've had more of a problem with that than like the ludicrous nature of the proceedings. But alright. For those that want to avoid spoilers, your warning now, we're going to proceed with the story. If you don't want to hear anything else, thanks for coming in on the raid. Much appreciated. Go away before you get the story spoiled. Spoil the story. Clicking pens is a satisfying sound too, for me at least. What is that what we're talking about? I came in here to give Prosecutor No Stash a good keel hauling. I'm the one getting the cat o' nine tails. Oh, he's as vicious as a tiger shark. Miss Buckler, just focus on your testimony and you'll be all right. Don't worry, we'll take care of that tiger shark for you. Oh, my. Thank you, Athena. Okay, I can do this. My testimony will be phenomenal. Okay, that's actually... That one's not the worst. Some of the other ones she has been really bad, but phenomenal's okay. All right, Miss Buckler, please proceed with your testimony. I admit I heard Orla summoning me with a loud noise, but the aquarium guest scream I heard over the walkie-talkie was more urgent. I talked to Norma de Plume first and then went to the pool room with the security guard. The equipment was everywhere and the captain was lying in the middle of it all. Obviously that noise must have been the murder then. Like, what does this prove? What does this prove? Her testimony proves nothing other than a noise happened and someone screamed. The story doesn't seem to be much different from Marlon Robbs' testimony. Or does it? Circumstances are different. The actual order of Orla's actions depend on the order the witness heard the two noises. If she heard the scream first, the prosecution's claims don't add up.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, she doesn't remember the order of what she heard.
She doesn't?
I was distracted at the time, so I don't really recall which one I heard first. I was lost in thought until the guard brought me back to myself. Sorry I'm no help.
You are actually no help. For anyone.
As long as the order remains unclear, I shall not alter the prosecution's claims.
Nor does that actually prove the prosecution's claim.
After killing the victim with the bag of coins, the orca toyed with the body in the water.
Tom. So I have some new commands that that are ready to be used. I just have to set them up in Streamlabs. One of them is going to be this, which seems appropriate. This particular situation. Where is it? Oh, I moved it. Where? No. Move it to this. Ah, yes, here. That's what you just did to me, Tom. You understand? What you did to me. KO! I have to turn things around here somehow. Unless I can prove the sound Sasha heard was not the sound of the victim's murder. Blackwell's claim that Orla pulled down the equipment to kill the victim will stand. If I want to save Orla, I have to find a contradiction no matter how small. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. You're all terrible people. Don't get me wrong, I love puns, but these are all awful. A whale of a time's fine. That's an actual thing, right? Or isn't that less of a pun and more of just a double entendre? So she doesn't know the order of events. Yes, screen. Why would she have
Why would she have had one of these? It can broadcast, but that's only if you have one. So otherwise, how would she have heard the scream over the walkie-talkie?
Objection!
Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Explain it, game. That is actually a problem. Why was a patron scream able to be heard over a walkie-talkie in which you can only speak through it or broadcast through it if you have one or one's right next to you and on?
I like that one, Tom. I mean, her and Marlon could have been fucking, but Pearl would have walked in on him.
Hold it!
What made you think Orla was summoning you? Orla knows the sound of her cries doesn't carry far enough. But sometimes she summons people by making a loud noise. Orla's smarter than the average whale, I tell you.
I would not be besting in a battle of wits.
Hold it!
Wait a minute, Widget's the smartest one of all.
Well, I mean, to be fair, love, that's a machine with computational powers beyond what I can fathom myself. We're talking about two animals here, otherwise. Comparing apples and oranges here.
There, I made your argument for you, Blackwell.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the smartest one of all? Widget! Am I expected to enter Trucy into this? My kid is better than yours, a Palooza? It's except she'd be the only human. And did you heed the summons of this very intelligent Orla immediately? I couldn't right away, although I was concerned about her, of course.
Hold it!
Shrimp revise, adapt, overcome. That one's not even good, but I love it.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
It should be coming through the desktop audio too. That's weird. You heard Miss the Plume scream? That's right. I heard her through the walkie-talkie of a guard making his rounds. That needed to be a part of, like, her initial statement. Ah! I can still hear it in my head. It was so loud I thought it was a sea lion. Mr. Plume sort of reminds me of a sea lion, actually. I know, right? I should call her Sea Lion Lady and see how she likes it. It's the thing that's so upset about being called Yellow Girl. What'd you do after hearing the visitor's scream?
Hold it!
You and the security guard headed to the Orca pool room? Yeah. Apparently that obnoxious writer later said she didn't trust me by myself. That's why, after talking to her, the guard and I went to the pool room together. Why by the wench be so suspicious, sir? I demand a swordfish duel! That's what I felt like saying to her anyway. I'm afraid I don't get it. That was a line from the show when Orla and Sasha quarrel with each other. Didn't you do your swashbuckler spectacular homework, Your Honor? Dude didn't even know the defendant was a whale at the start of this. Why am I getting scolded here, Mr. Wright? Because you're a piece of shit judge who's bad at his job. And why am I getting scolded here, Your Honor? Miss Buckler, please tell me what happened after you headed to the pool room. Right, when the guard and I got there, we saw that...
Hold it!
What do you recall about the scene exactly? I don't remember much, to be honest. I was in total shock from seeing the captain like that. If you asked me something specific, I might be able to remember, though. Specific questions, huh? Okay, let's see. What should I ask her about? Can you tell me more about the things that were scattered around? There were equipment and props for the new show. The new show? Yeah, we were supposed to debut a brand new Swashbuckler Spectacular yesterday. We already defeated the giant octopus in No Stash, after all. We were going to have a new nemesis, Red Stash. He's on the flyer. Oh, that's the flyer Rifle was distributing. Who will obtain the gold coins hidden in the Skull Rock? Oh, I wish it could be me. Leave it to you, Athena, to know all about it. Marla's even got some new tricks for the new show. All the stuff that fell down was for the new show, is that it? That's right. A bunch of props and crates and other equipment stacked up. Your Honor, for the record, I'd like that information added to the witness's testimony. Very well, Miss Buckler, please append what you just said to your testimony. Sure thing. The props for the new show were everywhere. Okay. Props were scattered everywhere. This is the old show. Crazy how those fake ass swords are able to make those real ass noises.
Captain Orla, he made it just in time.
Okay, I don't think I realized that the first time. That was pretty fucking sick.
Just a bunch of scallywags who are as free can be. We swim through storms and waves, all because you see grand treasure and adventures waiting just for me.
So he knocks over the captain, and while still in midair and the hat flies off the captain's head, it turns around. Well, maybe it doesn't turn around. Maybe it has the same on both sides. But it goes in the air and then falls right on top of the whale, where the whale would presumably wear a hat. That's some immaculate timing.
Hold it!
These props for the new show, what kind of things were they? Blow-up dolphin and anchor, Red Stash's costume, the bag of coins, stuff like that. The captain was wearing his usual costume and the new props were all there. And something about that doesn't seem right. Is there a problem with Sasha's testimony? Well, I mean, you told me there was, so... Yes, there is. You say the captain was wearing his usual costume, but is that completely accurate? Come on, Phoenix. What are you nitpicking my testimony for? If you look at the body, we see there's a discrepancy between that and your statement. You stated that the victim was wearing his usual costume. You'll notice the victim was wearing a red scarf around his neck. Imagine this red scarf is part of his costume for the new pirate show.
Oh, you're right. It's written right here in the flyer for the new show. Featuring the dashing red stash with a fluttering red scarf. Proto Man. Well, I have to say, it just looks like a red scarf was added to his old costume. Just not gonna look at that for a while. How about that? You guys, continue on. Yeah, well, the captain was never one to spend much money on costumes. But you know, the captain wasn't wearing that red scarf. But in this photo, I believe I see a red scarf. Yeah, but it's not wrapped around his neck. It's just draped on top of his neck. The red scarf was packed away with the rest of the new show's equipment. It must have fallen on top of the captain when the equipment fell down. Oh, I see. That seems unlikely, but alright. Looks like your discrepancy wasn't really a discrepancy at all. The scarf doesn't have anything to do with the case? There's something about the timing of stuff falling that bothers me. Hold on, the timing of the stuff falling. Timing. Maybe my theory has been wrong. Has been all wrong from the beginning. Maybe the bag of coins isn't the murder weapon.
And so your last cross-examination ends in failure as well. You should know that our feeble slash will never hurt me. As I said, the orca made the equipment fall and then toy it with the body in the water.
Objection!
Again, even so, his whole contention would mean that it was the victim's own fault. I'm sorry, Prosecutor Blackwell, but based on the circumstances at the scene, the defendant couldn't have dragged the body into the water after the equipment fell.
And why, pray tell, is that?
Well, I'll tell you alright. My theory's been right if my theory's been all wrong, then I'll just have to fix it. Yes, Mr. Wright, please do tell the court. What indicates that the body was not dragged in the water after the items fell.
Take that!
Please focus on this point. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, okay. Not dragging the water after you. He wasn't dragged in the water because he already has that fucking bite mark. This was after that. Oh my god. Whatever.
Take that!
Nope, not that. He didn't have that in his second photograph.
Take that!
Like, for real? The fact that it's not the chunk taken out of his fucking coat? This red scarf fell at the same time as the bag of coins. If the body was dragged into the pool after the bag of coins fell, red scarf wouldn't still be on top of the body.
What?
In other words, the victim was already dead when the equipment came crashing down. Or at least when the scarf fell on him. Therefore, the bag of coins that fell with the red scarf was not the murder weapon.
Silence!
Did I read that right?
What was the offense you claimed the bag of coins was a murder weapon to begin with?
Okay, we're changing our position. Yeah, that's true.
Intend to abandon your original argument?
Oh, when new information comes to light, that happens sometimes. After hearing the testimony, I realized my theory about the murder weapon was wrong. Please recall the facts we have learned so far. The fact that what Orla bit was the victim's dead body. For all, when we saw the victim on the security footage, he was already dead. I swear I must have been misunderstanding something that they were saying there, because I feel like the other thing proves it too. Am I just misreading it? Possible. But then, Orla carried the victim's body to the side of the pool. He knocked down the equipment for the new pirate show that was piled up there. Maybe Orla was trying to alert the humans to the victim's condition. Orla knocked the items down on the victim after he was already dead. And it means the defendant didn't kill the victim with those items.
Well, that's preposterous! Even still, your argument is lacking. If neither the orca's headbutting nor the bag of coins were a matter of death, then how do you propose the victim was killed?
A very good point. If the defense is now abandoning its original theory, then we would need a new theory as to what the murder weapon was. Alright, I doubt I have no clue would go over well. Alright, let's go over what we still need to find out about the victim's body. What we don't know is how he died and why his body was at the bottom of the pool. There's something that would explain both of those things at once? How did the victim's body sink to the bottom of the pool? On a diagram, it's easy enough to move the body to the bottom of the pool. But in real life, the water would just cause the body to float. Right. Hold on, water? Okay, what if we flip that around? What if there was no water? Then the body would go right down in an instant. So could the real matter of death be... Thanks for the great hint, Athena. What? I helped you and I didn't even know it? Should have looked back at chat. Your Honor, I think we know the real manner of the victim's death. I think won't do it, Mr. Wright. I expect a clear answer. Now then, what was the real manner of Jack Shipley's death? Manner of death that moved the victim to the bottom of the pool. The free falling. Let's take a look at the diagram of the orca pool. There's no water in this pool. And then it would be very easy to move the victim's body to the bottom of the pool. It would drop straight down. Oh my! Could that be the true manner of death? The orca pool is about 65 feet deep. If the victim were to go from top of the pool to the bottom, and there was no water, and he would, without question, have fallen to his death. Death from a fall.
And that's your answer?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. If he fell, that would explain the signs of blunt force trauma all over the body, too. Oprah pushed the victim into the pool when there was no water. After doing something to keep the body from floating up, mind you, they filled the pool with water. The pool water washed away any signs of blood so no one would realize that he fell. Surprisingly, that actually makes sense. Order in the court. I'm just as surprised as you are, but I must have order. All was the manner of death, and does that mean the defendant's behavior was the result of being manipulated by the true culprit as the defense claimed? Yes, it would have to be. All that needs to be explained now is how the real culprit commanded Orla. Miss Buckler, is there a way to instruct Orla to bite someone? What? What kind of trick would that be? Of course not. Then would you tell us about the tricks Orla does know? Well, there's jumping, dancing, and playing volleyball. She can spin, do the rock and roll trick, and sing the Swashbuckler Spectacular song. All like pretty nice tricks, but I doubt they're related to this case. She's also practicing two new top secret tricks. There's the human rocket, where she shoots somebody up into the air. And then there's the lifesaver trick, where she brings down a drowning person to the surface. Hey, one of these top secret tricks might have something to do with the case. Now, which of these two tricks sounds relevant to the case? Well, the lifesaver trick, Orla brings a drowning person to the surface, correct? You caught it! Orla's still learning how to hold someone gently in her mouth. So she sometimes bites into their clothes, but she's never hurt a person's skin. Brings a drowning person to the surface? Then that must be it! That matches up perfectly with what Mr. Plume said in the testimony. The real culprit must have used the lifesaver trick command to manipulate Orla. I still find this very hard to believe. Then let's see it for ourselves. Let's have Orla show us her trick using a practice dummy. As you wish. You no grounds to object to that. The prosecution doesn't appear to have any objection. Miss Buckler, please proceed. Okay, sure. I'll show you Orla's phenomenal trick. Hey Marlon, are you ready over there? Okay, let me just go get the practice dummy. There, it's in the pool. Ready and standing by, Sasha. Here goes! Orla's secret new trick, the lifesaver. The clothes got torn up a little, but the dummy doesn't have any marks on it. And there you have it. Orla's secret new trick. Oh, that orca really is something. A cute thing like that wouldn't hurt anybody. Sounds like the gallery loved Orla's performance. That was great. That awesome trick captured everybody's heart. Oh, ho, ho, wonderful. I wish I could see more. Looks like we silenced Prosecutor Black Quill. Thank you, Orla and Miss Buckler, and thank you too, Mr. Rhymes. And so now, you can clearly see how Orla could have been manipulated. The bottom of the orca pool needs to be examined immediately. You might still find some evidence of the victim falling to his death. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have that taken care of at once. Excuse me, Prosecutor Blackwell, but I am requesting further investigation. Ah! Prosecutor Blackwell, you have to answer the nice judge politely. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. The thing you asked for just came in.
You couldn't be bothered to think of a less violent way to deliver it.
What did Prosecutor Blackwell ask for?
I'm waiting for this.
The updated autopsy report. Oh, what is that? Yep. 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 And we just sigh and continue to click forward.
An updated autopsy report.
What? Why'd it have to come now? Fucking updated autopsy report.
During a recess, I ordered the body to be re-examined. Something started nagging me at me during the course of the trial, you see. Here.
I take you'd like me to read it. Very well. Cause of death thought to be from 65-foot fall.
But this is decisive evidence that substantiates Mr. Wright's theory. What? Something good for a change? The manner of death was fallen into an empty pool. The orca can't be responsible. It seems Orla's complete innocence has been proven.
Suppose I can't deny that.
Nope. All right, case done. All right, have a good one, everybody. We've done it. I'll see you next stream.
I'll tell like literally 60
Amber.
seconds ago was like, what the fuck are we playing here? Now I was like, oh my god, what type of gourmet
did
dish
you
do
all
I want
put
to make
together?
next?
I don't know. It's gonna be delicious.
I'm assuming that's not the case. I wish. Yeah, woo! Confetti! This is fantastic. You did it, Mr. Wright. Prosecutor Blackwell isn't even trying to refute it. Orla's saved. Yeah. Is this really safe to celebrate? It would appear more investigation in this case is necessary. First, allow me to render my verdict. The court finds the defendant, Ora Shipley.
Let's go.
Not the guilty. You did it. Thank you so much, Phoenix. Thank you, Athena. Orla and Marlon, thank you too. Congrats, Sasha. Time to celebrate. Go on, eat up. Hey, glad to see everybody so happy. I'm absolutely thrilled about the verdict. Thank you, right, Dano? Huh? For what?
Drain pool. Thanks to you, the truth is finally clear. Fulbright, arrest this woman.
Certainly. Right away, Prosecutor Blackwell. Sasha Buckler, you are hereby under arrest for the murder of Jack Shipley. Oh no, I didn't see that coming. What? What are you talking about? What reason could you possibly have?
Oh, come now. You must have had the same idea in the back of your dull little mind. The true culprit manipulated the orca in order to have false charges brought upon her. Who's the only one with the ability to accomplish that? It can only be the orca's trainer. That.
I'm sure there's some other explanation.
Silence. I don't need any of your baseless counter-arguments. Have you forgotten? In order to enter the orca pool room, a security card is necessary. A security card that only the victim and Sasha Buckler possessed. Ms. Buckler is the only one who could have caused the victim to fall to his death. Unless, of course, he fell to his death of his own accord. But I guess we won't talk about that potential theory, I guess.
What? No, I don't believe it. Ms. Buckler was so upset by Mr. Shipley's death. She couldn't have done it.
All right.
We asked the security company yesterday to check their security card logs. The report just came in during the recess. The night before the incident, Sasha Buckler used her card to enter the orca pool room. After that, not a single person entered the pool room. Not until the incident was discovered, when Miss Buckler and the guard ran in.
Objection!
Okay, so now we're in this weird situation where, like, was she our client? Because the orca can't technically be our client, because it's not a person. And so if she is our client, then we would have reason to debate here. However, this is all taking part apparently on a record for a case that this can't even be on the record. Can it? Maybe it can. But if she's not our client, then our words mean shit. Huh. No one would commit murder when their card usage is being recorded. Apparently, the aquarium employees don't know that their card usage is tracked. the company was the client, then yeah, we could still defend her as an employee of the company. So then I guess, yeah, if you're Phoenix, you still have... It's not standing. What is it then? The standing is your ability to bring suit, right? Not simply counter an argument. Within his agency? I don't even know. What would that be considered? That's someone who's still retained. Still defend and still not still arguing for the best interests of the client, I guess is how I would phrase it. What's more, Miss Buckler was seen arguing with the victim before the incident. So, Miss Trainer, what were you arguing about? It was private matter. It wasn't anything I would kill him over, that's ridiculous. Miss Buckler's the only one to enter the room. She knows how to command order. Besides, I thought suspicious from the very beginning. I mean, who puts a star over their face? You suspected Miss Buckler from the start? Orca did tricks because someone commanded her to do so. Possibly someone with the honors so black as to make her own partner the murder weapon. Possibility the Orca killed the victim. Possibility of a human manipulating the Orca. I looked into both. We suspected both Sasha and Orla all along. My gratitude to you, after all. You were the one who drew out that information about the lifesaver trick. The Orca you saved was an unwitting victim. The victim made to look like the weapon that killed Jack Shipley. No! Alright, come along then. Let's have a good long talk. Wait, I didn't kill the captain! I would never try to frame Orla. Why would I hurt the ones I love like that? Sasha! Phoenix, Athena, you gotta believe me, Was she being taken away, kicking and screaming? That she couldn't finish that sentence? Sasha didn't kill him, I believe that with all my heart. There's gotta be something we can do. Well, yeah, defend her. Feel the same way. Could I have done something differently? But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine things turning out like this. Well, that was something that happened. It would appear that this case has taken on an entirely new aspect. This case is not the same case, Your Honor. That case is closed. If she's being brought up for murder, that will be an entirely separate case. This trial is only concerned with the ruling on the defendant, correct? Or a Shipley. I'm afraid this concludes today's trial. Okay. We all see the issue with this, right? I'm going to give you guys a chance to answer. What's the issue with this? No. In all the Ace Attorney games before this, the court makes us find the killer before they let our client be found not guilty. But now apparently it's not a problem. Now apparently all we're concerned about is whether our defendant is guilty or not. This is correct. Everything before that is not correct. So because it was an orca, they finally decided to do something that wasn't fucking stupid? Animal privileges. I guess hail to the animals for actually giving us a look into what would actually happen. The judge's redemption arc. Perhaps. Because it's a weird feeling. I'm not mad at what we're seeing right now. At least this action itself is what should happen. This should have happened in all the cases before this. But no, even after we very clearly get our client off the hook, he specifically says, I expect you to investigate and find out who really did this. No, you should find our defendant not guilty first. Then the prosecutor can deal with that. Well, good for whoever the fuck wrote this case. It's goddamn absurd, like, you know, whatever. This is actually huge. This is a huge change from the other cases. Corporate privileges. So I'm afraid this concludes today's trial. Well, I mean, not afraid for the orca. I mean, good for the orca. The orca is free. Like, it worked out perfectly for him. Well, not necessarily perfectly. He might lose his handler, but I mean, he's not dead, or she's not dead, so. Silver linings. Court is adjourned. We did Free Willy. What do you think, Trep? How many streams do you think we got? If we make like similar progress as we did today in each stream. Two more? Okay. Yeah, we'll stop for today then. And we'll go tomorrow. That sound good? Mod, you're all good for tomorrow, right? Well, even if we found the killer, normally we would have to go through the whole process of proving that they were the killer. Or the judge would make us go through that entire process, right? But this time, just accuse somebody and then that was it. All right, cool. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night with the start of day 2. Start defending Bay. Yeah, thank you to Bane the Barbarian for the raid. Much appreciated. Thank you to Lightgazer for the 2 buckaroos. See, I can do it too. Well, I wouldn't mind doing another half hour, since I'm cutting it a little short tonight, doing like an extra half hour tomorrow. That'd be fine. Or we can just end end the case in the middle of one of the streams and just start the next case. That's fine too. It's not really a big deal. Yeah. You guys have a good one. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow night. Dream is adjourned.
Okay, wait for it to go